Hello viewers, welcome to our program, Personality of the Week. This is a program designed to bring our guests to you so that you can know them, celebrate their achievements, and also learn from their experiences. It is also designed to inform and educate you on the journey stride of our guests. Today, we have a brilliant achiever who has made tremendous contributions to the development of the building sector in the country. He holds a bachelor and master degree in architecture from the University of Lagos. Welcome with me, a personality for this week, architect Ijebu Adebite, Commissioner for Works and Infrastructure in Ogun State. How has it been so far?
Well, good. Thank God for His mercy.
Please, can we know you, your background, parents, and where you grew from?
Well, I have to do that in brief. I was born in Ibadan. Though my parents, my father was from Abeokuta here, and my mom from Ibadan. But my father, lived in Ibadan and died there. So I was born in Ibadan. I grew up there. I went to Government College Ibadan for my secondary school, and from there I went to University of Lagos for my university education. I read architecture and construction management. I have a master's degree in both. And I left that, worked briefly for a firm in Lagos, worked with them for about 5 years. And I started my own practice in 1992, also in Lagos. I was into design and build, so I was doing architecture and construction. This is what I was doing from 1992 up until 2011, when I was invited by His Excellency Senator Ebikuli Amusu, the governor of Ogun State, to come and work for him as the Commissioner for Works and Infrastructure. This I've been doing the last 7 years.
So why do you ever dreamt of becoming an architect?
Well, my aspiration had been, my leaning, let me say, has been towards the sciences. And in those days, when I was growing up, that was in the 70s when I was in secondary school, and people were trying to form opinions about careers. So it was either medicine or engineering. Those were the two career choices mostly available to science students. I couldn't go into medicine because I didn't really like the subject chemistry. And for you to do medicine, biochemistry is an important part of care for medicine. So I knew that I had to go the engineering way. But then, because of my inclination as well for creativity, so I chose architecture rather than the basic engineering, civil or mechanical, which I could have done. So I could say from secondary school, my choices were tailored in that direction. And of course, as soon as I finished my secondary school, I wanted to study at the University of Lagos. And for you to be admitted to the School of Architecture in the University of Lagos, you needed to have an A-level certificate. I'm not sure that they're still doing that now, but in those days, they were not taking people what they call direct entry. You couldn't come from secondary school straight into architecture school then. You had to do A-levels. So I went to do my A-levels at what they call, in those days they call it Ogun State Polytechnic. It was just starting in Abeokuta here. Today it's called Mashuda Bella Polytechnic. I did my A-levels there for 2 years before I went to University of Lagos. So my choice of architecture had been tailored, so to say, from my choice of subjects in secondary school.
After leaving university, what was your first job after university and how did you go?
Well, I was one of those who, without planning it, I was actually posted to serve in Lagos. Though my state of origin was from Ogun, lived in Ibadan. So when the posting came out in Lagos, I got a job with one of the biggest firms then to serve there. That's Modular Group Architects. They were one of the biggest firms in Nigeria and were handling the biggest jobs. So it was quite an opportunity for me to serve there, and I was retained. So my first job was Modular Group Architects, in short, which is where I did my service. And of course I was retained, and I spent another 5 years there before moving on to start my own practice.
You have worked on various projects across the country, and including the design of the Yoba headquarters in Marina Lagos. Will you say, what are some of the work that you say that you will not
Well,
easily forget?
the Union Bank headquarters in Marina was actually a project at Modular Group. It wasn't really my project, but I was opportune to work on that project, especially at the latter stages, because I was able to, I did pre and post contract for that job. A lot of architects has passed through Modular Group by the time I worked there, and they have worked on this drawing because you see, it was a project that spanned so many years. A lot of people worked on what you call pre-contract, the drawings alone. But I was lucky, I came at a transition point. So I was able to work on the drawings and also work on the construction. The construction started when I was still in Modular Group, I think around 1990, before I left in 92. So I was able to witness both sides of the occasion, and I also I put that in my CV. One, because it's at that point, and I think it still is, was the tallest building in Marina and probably in Nigeria till today, except for the net towers. But in terms of the building itself, it was the tallest structure on the Lagos Island, and you couldn't find any other thing anywhere. Anyways, later on, some high-rises are coming up in Abuja, but even today, we rank as one of the tallest in Nigeria. So it's a pride to have worked on that project. Of course, the project was still on when I left Modular Group, and so many architects will have worked on it as well.
So now, when you passed through Marina and you saw that building, how did you feel being part of the success story?
Well, I always look at it, and especially for someone who was part of the conception and the construction itself, I have some insight that other people will not have, because the initial design for that building was to have a 3-basement level. That is, you to go into the ground for 3 levels. But something happened when we started the construction around 1991. There was a heavy flood on Marina, and at that time, even we had started the excavation and piling for the 3rd basement level. The flood so happened that it came to the site where we were working. And at that time, Union Bank was just up the street, up William Street, the headquarters then, temporary, well, that's the headquarters then. And the directors came to see what was happening. They saw the water and they were afraid, they panicked. And we had to cancel the 2 basement levels lower. So we just have like 1 basement level in the existing Union Bank today. So when I go there and I see what could have been and what was actually built. When this happened, we had to go back to the drawing board, because the piles are already driven, so deep into the ground to take 3 basement levels. That's we are going like minus 15 meters into the ground from the ground level, 0 ground level. Now that we're coming up, we are just going to our -5. They needed to drive new piles that will terminate at those points for the pile cap. So it was interesting. It brings memories back of what and all that. These are some of the trainings and experiences that you don't get often. That I had on Union Banks.
Let's talk about your present office. In 2011, the present governor of the state, Senator Miambo Sunepsi, CEO, invited you to join his team to build the state. What plan do you have when you're coming as the commissioner of this?
Well, I must say that it was not just a sudden call. I've known the governor for a while. Back in the days of the Polytechnic, Ogun State Polytechnic, I was doing A levels and the governor was doing a professional course accounting. We were in the Polytechnic at the same time. Yes. And so even when he started his political career, sometime in 2000, I was with him. And of course, the rest I say today is history. He went to the Senate in 2003. That was the second term of this new dispensation. So in 2003 we went to the Senate, so I was part of that. In 2007 he contested for office as a governor. So for the 2007 election, we did a lot of groundwork. Toured all over our states, did a lot of studies and what would be required, if he came into office. So these documents, very voluminous, very detailed, were the things that were reviewed for the 2011 election. So when he came in 2011 and invited me to come here, I was already part of a team of people. Not everybody made it to become commissioners or work with him directly, but we had a broad-based team of experts, of professionals in different fields who had come together to prepare what you call a blueprint of what the governor would do in office. So it was easier for me to transition from, the study into actual execution coming into office. So I was part of the team that actually done the study, and now I was now put in a position to implement some of this. And so it was quite an easy transition for me.
So how you are still on our program Personality of the Week, and we're still talking with the Commissioner for Works and Infrastructure and Mobility,
It is no longer news, sir, that Ogun State under Senator Obiamosun is known for massive infrastructural development across the length and breadth of the state. As professionals, sir, how do you feel being part of this team?
Well, I must say this, that the governor has been an inspiring source. Apart from being the leader of the team, all that, it's inspired a lot of people to produce their best, because if the head is right, then the body will follow. And I think he has demonstrated that by his work ethics. He's a hard worker. He's an optimist to the limit, because he has a can-do spirit, and is never daunted by challenges. We've overcome a lot of challenges that even people will think, oh, is this possible? There's nothing like that in his dictionary. So I think working with him has actually improved myself as well, because it's a different ball game in the private sector where I've been practicing for the past 20-something years. There, you work with your client's brief and all that, and your impact was so limited, between yourself and your client. You have a client, even at times it's government, but then your impact was limited. At times I've had clients who are corporate bodies and individuals that I've built for. It was a different experience. But in public office, your activity, even your thought process affects a larger number of people. Apart from the people who reside in the state where you preside as the commissioner, there are even visitors, and often things you do will affect them. So the governor has done this very well. He's been able to bring together a very formidable team. He's chosen professionals over what could have been. A lot of people grudge him for this. Not a lot of the politicians that campaigned with you didn't make them commissioners, but he knew what he wanted to do. Without being ungrateful to those people, he wanted a professional team, and I dare say that without being modest, the governor has delivered. Of course, carrying this team along.
We have so many testimonies about the various projects across the state. Visitors, when they come in, sometimes they were being taken around to see what's going on. When you begin to hear the feedback, like talking about this infrastructural development, we were hearing the feedback. How did you feel as the commissioner of works?
Well, like I said, these are some of the moments. I would say gratifying, because it's taking a lot of hard work and it's taking a toll even on the individuals in the team, the governor himself and all that, because his mantra has always been, we must serve the people. We must serve the people who are put here to serve. And of course, that's what we're doing. So when you expend yourself so much, so much, I mean that even at times, puts your health on the line. It's gratifying when people appreciate what you have done. So at those moments, you think, okay, it's worth it. I've put in so much, at the risk of this and this, but then people do appreciate it. The results have come out. Some people have exerted themselves probably more, and they've not have any result to show for it. But you have a result, and not just having the result, you have appreciation from the people who you have worked for and people who are using it. So it's gratifying, and it's pleasing as well.
We all know that nothing comes that easy. When you have this kind of projects, there should be some challenges. And you mentioned some of the challenges and how you were able to overcome them.
Well, the challenge is largely, I must say, is funding. The governor is a dreamer, is a visionary. Somebody who says he sees ahead well of his peers, well ahead of his peers. If somebody say, okay, let's do this, people can't see the reason for that. A lot of people say, why do you want to do, this? Until it is actualized, people don't say it. And that is what leadership is all about. A leader without a vision, that team is dead. So thank God, the governor is a visionary, is a dreamer. He dreams of lofty things to do for the people, to do for the state. But then a lot of this vision and dreams are limited by funding. I'll give you one. It would have been so lovely if we had been able to execute this rail system. We designed the rail system for the whole of Ogun State that will cover from Abeokuta going into Lagos via the Mowe Bafu, let's go to Shagamu. From Shagamu, we will extend to Ijebu. Also from Shagamu as a hub, it will extend to Ilaro. We'll go to Ota. We'll go to Agbara Estate, linking our industrial area and all that. So this was designed in a 5-phase project, so that we have phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But that will have been, the ultimate for Ogun State, because it will not only solve your transportation problem, it will also improve the penetration of industries, because a lot of people want to come to Ogun State now, and with the right mode of transport, traffic cancel and all that is not there. More people will come in here to live here. Of course, by then they will improve the hygiene of the state. But then I must say, it's not, that dream is not dead, and that is why we hope that the governor will be able to hand over to a successor that will share in that vision, share in the dreams, and he could go on to execute this project. We've done all the groundworks. We've even got external funding for it. The governor went to China. I was on his team that went to China. We were able to secure funding for that. There's some local politics involved that we're not able to get the Nigerian thing off the ground. But I'm sure with time, a lot more people will see the benefit. The project itself is not about Amazon, it's about the people. It's going to benefit the people. So these are some of the challenges. And I've highlighted that just to say that, look, yes, funding. Of course, there are a lot of other things we'll have done. We'll have done more of the rural roads. We'll have done more of the secondary roads within the towns and all that. Because we say, oh, you're doing this. Yes, we need to do the primary roads first, the major spines. These are the ones that bring in the businesses. And this has already proven us right. IGR has improved more than 10 times and all that. It's only when you make money that you can now spend more on projects. And then, of course, we'll now go down. When you do the major ones, you go down to the secondary roads, then you go down to the rural roads. So this has been our strategy, and it has worked very well, because what we have done has been justified by the response in terms of penetration of industry. More industries are birthed in the state. They've started fresh ones, old ones that are coming here, because the infrastructure is there. So challenge essentially is funding.
Architect Lamele, I think I've seen the reason why the governor decided to extend your tenure after 2015. I want to, for record, can you please mention some of these projects that you have done across the 4 corners of the states between 2011 till now?
Well, there are quite a number of them. I'll try and go Senatorial districts. I'll start from Ijebu. In Ijebu, when we came into office, at that junction with the express road, it was a daily occurrence. Accidents was a daily occurrence, and then loss of lives was there, because people were trying to turn on the highway into Ijebu in a right angle degree, 90 degrees turn. For you to do a 90 degrees turn in a car, you need to come to zero, unless you want to become a skid solo. You need to come to zero, that's stop, full stop, and then you turn. That is not done anywhere in the world. This is a highway where people are going at 100. That's the maximum speed limit there. But we all know that people exceed that. Some people are doing 120, 140. And you on that same road want to come to zero. And go in front of somebody that's going the other direction, that's doing 100, 140 and all that. So it was a daily occurrence, accident. I said, look, there are solutions to this. This has been done before. So we came up with the great separator in Ijebu. And like they say, this is history. Since that bridge has been completed, people are using it. There's no accident at that point again, because we just separated the traffic at that point. Those who are going straight to Ijebu or to Shagamu, they go at the lower level. Those who are crossing to Ijebu, they use the interchange on top. and they go into Ijebu safely, comfortably. That's one of the projects in Ijebu, and I'm quite pleased with the result that we see there. It was conceptualized, designed by us, and it's been carried out. Of course, we're doing 2 major roads in Ijebu, the Ejinolu-Alogbon road, and then of course the Kongba that's going to Ilese, which we are extending to Tele now. Those 2 projects are on. The Ejinolu-Alogbon is almost completed. The Ilese one is work in progress. Of course, you go to Shagamu. In Shagamu, we have 2 roads we're doing as well. That's from the Express Junction through RSS. That's the one that goes to Baringoli Junction. Now we've extended that road from Shagamu to Ogijo. Of course, there's conflict with the federal government recently, and we're trying to resolve that. We've awarded that road, and work has started. I think sometime in October last year. We've done about 4 kilometers of asphalting on that road. That's the road in Shagamu. Of course, we are also on Ilishu-Agawa, which is a road that's going on. That's also work in progress. So now we've almost completed the bridges on that road. There are 3 major bridges on that road. The 3 bridges are completed. About half of the road is a 26-kilometer road. Up to kilometer 12, we've done asphalting, work in progress. If we come to the West Senatorial District, of course, that is where we have the longest road that we're doing in Ogun State. And that's the road from Ilara via Ijebu, Egua, it goes to Ojaodo, and of course, comes out at Ipokia local government. That's a 110-kilometer road. And when a lot of people talk to me that we are not doing rural, I say, what can be more rural than that? All that road connects the grain belt of Ogun State. From A to Z, that road is grain belt. That's where the agric belt of Ogun State is. So there's nothing that can be more rural than that. And what we've been able to do is open up the whole road. The whole 110 kilometer of that road is done. And of course, we've done some asphalting on that road. A lot of work has been done there. We've done work at Aitoro, and then we've done some work. We're working presently in Elaro. And of course, we've done the whole of Ota. Other township roads are done completely and all that. Right now, we're also doing a road that transits from the west into the central district. That's the Ota Ijoko road. Ota to Ijoko is within the west. Of course, the rest is in the east. That's from Ijoko all the way to Ijudu. That's in it for local government. And of course, we come to the central senatorial district, which is Abeokuta here. And of course, an environment, it's not just Abeokuta. We've done a lot of work in Abeokuta here. The Ojere Adaton road is there. Brewery to AGTV. We're doing Ofada to Mowe is already asphalted. That road is there. So many roads within the central has been there. And of course, this is what I'm telling you about. The road that goes from Ijoko all the way to Judu. There are 5 bridges along that road. That road has captured the border town people who either do not feel belong to Ogun State because government has neglected them now. We've done the roads, they feel belong, and they're coming into the tax net of Ogun State. So these are some of the projects I can mention, and so many others. Don't forget that as it works in infrastructure, we've done a lot of power projects as well. Some are in the pipeline, some already being constructed, some already being used. So it's quite a success story, if I must say.
Yes, it's true that the government are able to do a lot of things, a lot of works, a lot of construction, massive in the state. The people of the state would like to know, the rainy season is here, electionary campaign is almost ready, it's almost around the corner, and there are still some other rules that the government have been back on, and yet they are still not so completed. Are they going to be completed before the end of this year?
Well, you need to listen to Mr. Governor. He has said it severally that we've been elected to work, and the mandate for the second time is 4 years. He's going to keep working until the last day. That's what governor is all about. Everybody expected that, okay, you've now won a second term, you should relax. Why are you doing new roads? And people say, oh, you have less than a year to go. Why are you doing new roads? I say, look, his mandate expires on May 29 when the new governor is sworn in. And that's what he's doing. Government is a continuous thing. We are praying and hoping that whoever takes over from us will share the vision, is going to be a good successor, after the governor. That's why we are doing all this work. But what we can assure you is that we're not going to leave any road in an haphazard manner. What we are doing now, we've done strategically. A lot of these roads will be done in phases, so that even at the time we are leaving, we will have completed whatever phase we are backed on, so that somebody can pick up in an orderly fashion from whatever we have left. Thank you so much.
So after this, what next for you?
Well, to go back to my practice is still in Lagos. I'm an architect, I'm a builder. Things will have changed a little, I must confess. But I mean, that's what I've always loved to do. That's my passion. You know, I love to draw and have to create things. So I love to go back to that. And that's what I do for a living.
Comparing the state of now to the state of before.
Well, I always say posterity will be the best judge of that. We've done our best. There have been administration before us. We've done our bit as well. We'll be gone, and posterity will judge us. But from even the little feedback we got, I think we've scored very well.
Viewers, you are still on to a personality of the week, and you've listened to the Commissioner for Works and Infrastructure in the NTA. Have been able to tell us a lot of works that the government have done. Sir, among all this work that the governments have been able to do, which one do you think that is, if you want to rate them, is the highest, that consumed a lot of money, times, and things like that?
Well, I think it probably will be the one I told you, the challenge I told you about, and that is the rail system. That took us a lot of time to plan it, a lot of money for the execution. It's unfortunate it's not been done, but the paperwork is done. The new governor just needs to pick it up and start firing the construction. Thank you so much.
What words of advice do you have for upcoming youths?
Well, hard work never kills. And the youths of today, they love the easy life. I would advise against that. You need to work hard for what you believe in. Follow your passion. But what's most important is that you say you work hard. Money will follow. But the kids of today, they want money first and they don't want to work. If you work hard at your passion, God will bless it and the money will follow. So this is the path to toe. This is the path to greatness for the whole country. And I advise the kids, youths, to follow that. Thank you.
Another advice, this will be the 14th of our program today. Until you come your way next week with another personality, I want to thank you for watching, and very big thank you to our production team. Thank you and stay